Hey guys, and welcome back to the True Faith Messenger. Today we're going to talk about the existence of God. So the Catholic Church believes that God's existence can be found both through our faith and through our reason. While faith is a supernatural gift from God, it is a grace, but we also believe that reason can also lead us to understanding that God does indeed exist. So science is there to help us understand deeper God's universe, and it's through philosophy that we can observe the world around us, that we can lead to reason to believe in God, our Creator. So it is through faith and reason that we come to the conclusion that supports the existence of God. So St. Thomas Aquinas, he was a prominent Catholic theologian, amazing brain for the church. He presented the 5 ways. These are 5 arguments for the existence of God, based on observations of the natural world around us and the principles of logic. And I'm going to quickly, obviously, put these into simple terms. St. Thomas Aquinas has much more on this. But here are the 5 ways. So way number 1 is the argument from motion. So everything in motion must have been set in motion by something else. So there is a chain of motion, and this chain of motion cannot go on infinitely. So there must be a first mover of all things, which is God. Way number 2, argument from efficient causes. So every effect has a cause. This chain of causes also cannot go on infinitely. So there must be a first cause that caused it all, which is God. It's like a domino effect. Everything continuously leads to something else. So the principle that is behind it all would be God. He set everything into motion. Way number 3 is the argument from contingency. There are contingent beings or dependent beings, meaning that they are beings that their life depends on something else for their existence, right? Like we all depend on oxygen, we all need to eat. There's this chain of dependency, and this chain cannot go on infinitely. So there must be a necessary being which all depends on him, all eventually depend on God. So way number 4 is the argument from degrees of perfection. So as we can see in the world around us, there are various degrees of getting better, various degrees of perfection in the world, with some things being more perfect than other things. So this law implies that there is a standard for perfection, and this is God. God is the ultimate perfection. Way number 5, the argument from design. So the universe has order and is complex. And so that order and the complexity of the universe points to an intelligent designer, which is God. So there you have it. There is a simple version of the 5 ways of St. Thomas Aquinas on proving God's existence. This method is what the Catholic Church continues to teach the whole world. There are some more methods. There are some bonus methods. The church teaches there is the argument from experience. The Catholics point out that the human experience that we're living, and when we experience love, beauty, goodness, and the sense of transcendence, is also evidence for God's existence. So through our human experience of these things, being that God is the source of all that is love, all that is beauty, and all that is goodness, that through experiencing these, there's proof for God. These experiences all point to a reality that is beyond the material world, right? And suggest that there is the presence of a living and creative God, God our Father, who loves us. Also, there's the argument for miracles. Miracles are these events that defy all natural law. And they are seen by us Catholics as evidence of God's power and his intervention in this world. He's not just upstairs sleeping, like the deists say. These miracles show that God is not simply an abstract idea far away from us, but a real and active force that goes into human history whenever he chooses to. And the Catholic Church itself is seen as a great testament to this, to God's existence, because of its long history, its enduring teachings and dogma, and its impact that it's had on the whole world. These are considered as evidence for God's presence, and through his guidance, through his church, no man-made organization can compare to the 2,000 years of history and continues to go strong, the Catholic Church. Again, this is due to God and nothing that man has done. Also, there is another argument, another bonus argument, the argument from personal faith. So ultimately, the Catholic Church teaches that the most compelling proof of God's existence is our personal faith. So this faith is not based on logic or evidence alone, but on a deep conviction in the soul of man and man's experience of God and God's love and his presence in his life. There's a deep conviction in our soul. And like I said at the beginning of this video, we believe that in the existence of God, that we can believe in the existence of God through reason and through faith. While several reasons I stated, we still believe that while reason can lead to the belief in God, it is ultimately faith. Faith is a gift from God, and that requires a personal response from us. So we have to make ourselves worthy vessels to receive the grace of faith from God, right? We have to receive this faith. And it's a grace. And we humbly recognize also that the mystery of God, the church teachings recognize that God is ultimately a mystery, and his existence cannot be fully comprehended by human reason alone. So the Catholic Church believes that God's existence can be known through both faith and reason. And through using the five-way method of St. Thomas Aquinas, and there are more methods, these other methods that I mentioned, and the use of philosophical arguments, human experience of miracles, and even the testimony of the church itself, and our personal faith is evidence that supports the belief in one loving and creative God. So until my next video, stay strong, pray your rosary, and please pray for me. God bless.